Okay, so this video is the structure of the soul, what I think about the structure of the soul. And I kind of came up with a new idea recently that I got from Bashar, and it's kind of a freaky, and it's kind of coupled with an experience I had on Salvia a few months ago, where I kind of felt like I've experiencing reality in a way that I didn't expect I would. I think people, our souls are actually connected, like our souls and souls are connected. Not the whole soul, but maybe this video should be the structure of the soul and chakras, because it has to do with chakras. You have all these different chakras, first up to the like the 12th or something, all the way up past your head. And so like the primeval chakra, the one I guess at your tailbone, is the one that's just you. And then, you know, if you do the heart chakra, you can actually, with meters, they're probably really expensive, but I think every school should have one. You can detect the electromagnetic frequency of your body from 8 feet away, all the way around your body, and that emanates right from your heart. And so anyways, they're like different cogs communicating with each other within that frequency range. So like people would be using mainly their heart chakra if they're all collected in a room. But if you're trying to telepathically communicate with this spiritual energy, maybe a sound or something from another galaxy, you would use your 12th chakra. And basically what those are like connection points of your actual soul. So you would not be you if you didn't, if you had to take away the part of your soul that is the same part as everybody else's soul. And like a visual way that I'd look at that is like, if you look at the family tree of a family, it all splits out. And if you want to say like who you are, like I guess if you want to say who you are as you could trickle it down to like where you came from. But it kind of works differently, I guess, maybe in families, because it kind of dilutes everything. But like with your actual soul, maybe, you know, you don't have a soul mother and father, but like it's kind of like trees is a better example. You have like the tree comes out and then it branches out into a branch, and the branch branches out into another branch, into a twig, and into the leaf, and like you would be a leaf, and then so you would have like soul brothers where somebody else would be the other leaf, and so your higher self would be the branch that you're connected to, and that wouldn't be any more any less part of you than the other person. The other person wouldn't be any less connected to that part of your soul than you, even though that's your higher self soul that like you would feel connected to and you would get your energy from. So maybe you would like your higher soul would be like rooted in the sun or in the earth. Higher self would be hanging out over there, but you'd be sharing it with other people. And like, but actually like experiencing that, like how you are, your soul actually is an extension of this mother soul. And if you're actually going to imagine that and feel that, I think you'd have to be like prepared for it before you do it. Like you couldn't just experience that and believe it. Like after you live a whole life of thinking that your soul is you're totally separated. Like I think that could be even more frightening than somebody who believes that you're just going to evaporate when you die, because that way they don't have to think about anything, but if they think about themselves as actually connected to something, then that could freak them out, like they can't escape or something, imprisoned by that, like, or just feel like yucky, like if you're just like in a room and you're just connected with cobwebs and you get claustrophobic and freak you out because all that energy come up to you and you realize what it is and it just blow you up. So I think that's maybe like what people, like what Shar's talking about, like if you give them too many like spiritual teachings or too much connection, as the world gets filled up with more and more energy and people become more and more creative and more sharing, and some people who can't feel that they're actually connected with everybody else and that they are them, and so because of that you have to just let them be them, even though they're not. Like it makes you uncomfortable what they think and stuff, and it kind of blows you out of your shell. So like if that happens too fast, I guess there could be people who could be like, whoa. And so this kind of gets into maybe the bifurcation, like if the world actually is going to become a fifth dimension, a lot of people will live there, whereas the other people will bifurcate into a parallel universe where the world stays in fourth dimension. Now, if that happens, would that mean that people would disappear, like somebody you knew your whole life that would suddenly not exist? You never knew that they existed, or you could remember that they're here, but it's like, okay, they just disappeared, like maybe they died? Does it happen literally like that, or maybe it's just people do die, and that's what cancer is for? People died, and when they get reborn the next time, they're going to get reborn in a fourth dimensional world, whereas you will in the next fifth dimensional world, because this world is birthing into fifth dimension, and it actually hasn't there yet. But Bashar was saying that there are lots of other worlds already in the Earth that are in multi-dimensions. Like when people talk about civilizations under the Earth, he's not talking about three-dimensional civilizations that we can see, but actually like higher dimensional worlds that we can't see, that are up there. So if we're making the transition into that, are we going to meet a world that's already, an Earth that's already at that frequency? Are we going to like meet up with those people and be like, hey, how's it going? Or are we going to create our own fifth dimensional world here? But anyways, that's not something that I like to think about too much. I'm just putting it out there as a question. But as far as the structure of the soul, I think you do have like your higher self, which would be like the branch of the tree. And that's where you get all of your ideas. And so you would get the same ideas that other people get. So every little idea you get that you resonate with, maybe to think that you get something from your higher self, I think it's good to believe how you get it from an actual location. Like our energy branches out from the middle of the galaxy, and then it goes to this black hole, and then to this smaller black hole, and then to the biggest like power star around here, and then to us. Now the biggest power star around here in this neighborhood is a Sirius star. It shines hundreds of times, I think. I don't know exactly, much brighter than our sun, but it's the brightest object in the sky other than Venus. And like another planet, or I think it is after Venus. And so naturally you would imagine that it would be a focal point of energy if you think of everything being connected energetically. And then you actually turn that idea of that electromagnetic field that connects all the different celestial objects, that actually is your soul. That is you. And so if you have an idea from a higher dimension that has to do with like a certain peaceful frequency where you're getting lots of ideas, maybe that's actually coming straight from the star of Sirius, or the people who live there. And that's so, because physically we are babies of stars anyways. When stars explode into supernovas, they create the metals from the high heat of the fusing of all those heavier atoms, which ends up turning into our planet and our bodies. So, and that in the physical sense, we already know that. So then in the spiritual sense, we are connected too. But I mean, it's definitely freaky for me when I kind of felt like my soul was like, my actual soul was actually connected and morphed into something else. It was connected and like, yeah, it can be like something that's not comfortable if you totally like thrown into that. So I think it's good for people to just have the idea of being that you're connected and that everything's alive, and that's actually, I think, a really good idea to have. That and it can be empowering, because then you believe that everything you do, you create, and you can always do something new, and it doesn't really matter. So basically, how I live my life, I don't really worry about anything. I just do what I want to do, and because it kind of takes too much energy to worry about what anyways, I think I made my point. The structure of the soul.